start with the afresh with the concept of IP. So you must have a proper understanding of IP if you are proceeding with that. So if you hold an IP or you are owner of IP, you possess certain IP related subject matter, how can you proceed with? And how can you understand the value of IP? All these things we will try to understand in this very presentation. So it could be, discussed in this very manner. Like I will be providing you the basic concept, general concept of important IPs or which are prevalent, and then how they differ from each other. How can you make a distinction for the sake of clarity? That is being briefly discussed here. So we will try to grab the essence of every IP. And first of all, what is the concept of IP? And then we will proceed one by one. After completing this exercise, we will start afresh with our syllabus like copyright and all that. Okay. So let's start with the general concept. So what is intellectual property? As I said that there is no concrete definition which is given in any of the instruments, legal instruments. All the instruments just either enlist what is IP or they just refer it as an IP, but they don't describe a particular definition of IP. So essentially what it involves. So the domain of IP involves intellectual activity in the form of either creativity or inventive, works in the form of innovation. So these two things are the common phenomenon of intellectual property domain. So what kind of rights you have over this very property, which is intangible property? So you do have exclusive rights as regards to these subject matters which are clubbed under intellectual property. Like in any case where artistic work is there, musical work is there, literary work is there, you will be provided with certain rights which are termed as copyright. Likewise, if it is inventive work, then you will be accredited with the connotation that is what come under patents. Likewise, if you have designed something which is industrially applicable, then that will come under the domain of industrial property, industrial design, and likewise. So, primarily it involves creativity or inventorship, and then what is the object of protecting IPR? So the basic objective is why state protected. So states protected because they try to protect innovation and creations, and so that the society must progress with new kind of stuffs, improved versions, and the quality of life of that very country would be improved. So this is the basic object. So you must be on the progressive path. And second objective is to reward innovative and creative activity so that innovation and creation could be promoted. तो अगर आप किसी एक जो इन्वेंटिव एक्टिविटी में engaged है, if you encourage them through some sort of incentive model, then he may be encouraged to do more and more, number one. And number two, while looking at him that he is creating something or innovating something and he is being rewarded by the state, the others are also encouraged to do the thing, multiplying that very thing by leaps and bounds. So invention spurs invention and it leads to innovation. So one invention may encourage another invention and there is a chain of invention, and because of that innovation process will be triggered, and through that innovation would be, as a whole would be promoted, or creative activities as a whole could be promoted. So what is the nature of IP? These are exclusionary rights. So I have already explained to you what is exclusivity. And I have also explained to you that exclusivity is not absolute, so there are proper checks and balances within the system of IP. So exclusionary rights means a person who own that very property exclude others, have the right to exclude others from enjoying the fruit of his own activity. I mean, enjoying the fruit of his attempt or his, labor. So in that very case, third party exclusion is guaranteed under the law. So no third party can use that very thing which is otherwise authorized to you, those very rights which are authorized to you, and unless and until you yourself authorize some other person to do on your behalf. So this is the exclusivity or exclusion right or exclusionary right which is being ensured by the framework of intellectual property. So whether intellectual property law has been developed objectively without any state interference, and it could be considered intellectual property without having any state intervention, you have to understand it properly. And at the very outset, as I said, that in previous ages, different theories govern that very thing, whether it is a property or not. So, but in today's world, increasingly, what is property and what is not being decided by those definitions, but by the policy of the state. So, policy paradigm is very much important to declare a thing as a property. But the essential of that property are more aligned to the uh, those definitions. So, for example, it have all the indicia of that very definition. One of the definition I have, proposed to you or discussed before you, that is a res, a subject matter over which ownership rights are being exercised. That very res is considered as property. So this very phenomena is being seen in all the properties which we discuss. But there are various policy levers which create a kind of balance in various models of property. So intellectual property is nothing but an artificial creation of law to secure exclusive possession of intellectual property. So how that has been modeled? That has been modeled through a particular, you can say, framework. Take the example of patent. Patent provides an incentive model and rewards the inventor on the one hand. On the other hand, it also asks that there must be a public disclosure so that others may also be benefited and others may also be a part of that very innovation by improving that very thing which is already being patented, as well as creating new things. So this is a model which is pretty balanced. So this model is not prescribed by the scholars, but it is being made by a particular state. So this thing you must always keep in your mind. So as I discussed, various limits are also being given under that very intellectual property law in the form of compulsory licensing, in the form of research exemptions to ensure the accessibility and wider, you can say, promotion of that very property. So this is whole soul nature of intellectual property rights. And under this, there are some underlying policies. What are those policies? First, to secure for the public the benefits of the intellectual property. This is the main aim of the state. Like if a state gives protection to a particular invention and the inventor or the patentee, then in that very case he produces some goods based on that. And inventions are always improving what we are already using. So the benefits of that very invention must reach to the public. That is the first, emphasis of the state to secure the public or secure for the public the benefits of the intellectual property. And that is being done in a very, reasonable manner. To promote that very person's incentive, whatever incentive he has, as well as to also ensure that it must be available to the public on reasonable terms. If it is not so, then compulsory licensing, many other stuffs could be put into that very picture. But unless and until it is being smoothly running, then the state must protect that very inventor or patentee in a sense that he can exercise his own rights and disseminate or distribute those goods in the market. Second thing is to regulate and manage competition. As I said, that it is usually seen that it is in conflict with competition law, but if you go by the underlying policies, you will find that it is not contradicting, but complementing the competition law in the sense that there are inbuilt checks which are there within the IP system which check the abuse of IP. So, if anybody is doing something which is largely abusive and monopolized in a manner which is very absolute, then in that very case, there are checks through which government can intervene and try to promote that very competition. So, this is a thing which you have to understand. And exclusivity also spurs that very innovation process, because while doing that, if you are making any product based on your invention, then the other person, if he has been able to look at your public disclosure or written description, he can come up with the competitive product, another competitive product with a different kind of method and many other things. So in that way, competition is always on. It is not being suppressed. So because of that, regulation and managing of the competition is also the underlying policy of intellectual property rights. So why countries protect IP? First of all, to recognize these kind of expressions, which are there in the form of creativity or inventiveness. So, first of all, to give statutory expression to the rights of creators and innovators in their creations and innovations, balanced against the public interest in accessing creations and innovations. So, the policy of the IP of a country, first of all, recognizes the efforts of these people who would be considered as inventors or creators, so that a statutory expression must be attached to their expression. So this is about the recognition of their efforts and incentivizing them. Next thing is that it must be balanced against the public interest in accessing creations and innovation. So on one hand, it ensures the incentiveness or incentive model to those people who are creating or innovating. On the other hand, it also looks at another angle that public must be benefited by having that very accessibility on. Second thing is to promote creativity and innovation and therefore contributing to economic and social development. Both aspects you have to understand that if you create something very new, if you provide a technological solution to any problem that may come under the patents and that may be a very useful good which could be exported also, which could be marketized in a manner where economic progress could be ensured. Uh, on the other hand, it has a social purpose also. How it has a social purpose? Because if you are solving a problem through technological solution, which is being there, maybe a local problem also. So that is also for the welfare of the public, though it is being incentivized in that manner. But at least you are being getting the solutions through technology, through this kind of efforts, that is creativity and innovation. That is why also social development is being ensured. So both the angles are being targeted with these kind of IP. Other things are also like in literature also. If you are advancing the literature with new thoughts, new creations, uh, in that manner also what you are doing, you are pushing the economic progress by having your literature available, your artistic activities available, and in that way you are also promoting that very creativity flair in the society. That is also very important for a society to progress. So these are the basic, concept underlying policies through which IP would be made possible. This I have already, explained to you. I don't think that I have to repeat it. बताया हुआ
Sir,
है मैंने. हाँ.
sir, if
Yes, yes.
one innovation solves a big social problem, as in like maybe the shortage of water or something,
Hmm.
and the cost of providing that particular innovation to the public at large is not cheap. So will the government compensate the innovator so that this particular innovation can be used by the public at large at a cheap cost?
Actually, it depends upon the nature of that very invention, and usually because it is an individual affair, so normally, it is done on the individual basis. If anybody has invented something, he has all the right to make his invention happen, make it patent, enjoy his patent rights through economic incentives. But if government feels that that is a very important and very, crucial thing for the people, it may assist. Yes, of course, for that matter. So, like collaborations and kind of chain could be created in that way. Like in current situation, in pandemic, many of the government inventions which were otherwise protected by patent have been made open to be used by every individual to improve upon that and find out something to fight with this very disease. So if this kind of things were happening, then that could be strategized differently. But it largely depends upon that understanding that whether government is interested, it is going to negotiate with that very person who is doing that. If the prices are very high, then it could be excused, as I said, that through the compulsory licensing also. But that is a very vehement act. But before that, negotiations are always on. So as a party, one can negotiate, even government can negotiate over that very issue, that whether it could be feasible regarding that or not. So it depends. It is a very, very peculiar situation which could be done on the fact and circumstances. Okay? Is that okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay. So this very classification, I think that it is being discussed earlier also. So should I move further? बताया हुआ है ना इसको कि नहीं बताया?
सर एक बार फिर से बता दीजिए.
अच्छा ठीक ठीक. Okay. So when we talk about the evolution of IP, there were old classifications and new classification. So as I told you that four intellectual property rights, were there. In the early days also. They are relatively old in origin. So those four were trademark,
Copyright, copyright, patent law, trademark, and industrial design.
design, yes. So these four were clubbed under old intellectual property rights. So at that very moment, as I said, that copyright was solely a very individual affair, and it is sheer creativity which was running that very edifice. That is why copyright has been grouped under the umbrella of intellectual property, while other three were clubbed under industrial property. Why they were clubbed under industrial property, I have mentioned to you, because they were closely associated with industrial activities. For example, if you take the example of patents, if there is no technology and that technology is not being produced on a mass scale, then it could not be protected under patents. So it heavily relies on the industrial setup or industrial activity. That is why patent were clubbed under industrial property. Likewise, industrial goods were, the main responsible, you can say, force which make this thing happen, trademarks and all that. So because of that, also trademark is also closely associated with industrial activity. Third one is designs are also being created, and the term itself suggests that it is industrial design. So it could be produced on mass scale. So here also it is also aligned to the concept of, or aligned to the industrial activity. That is why these three were categorized as industrial property, and only copyright was categorized as intellectual property. But this very classification has been, diminished by WIPO Convention 1967. It has put every activity under one umbrella, one head, that is intellectual property, that I am discussing. तो ये समझ में आया? तो ट्रेडिशनल क्लासिफिकेशन था. मॉडर्न कन्वेंशन क्या है? In the due course of time, this distinction was diminished, and the modern convention is to use only one term, that is intellectual property, to refer to both industrial and intellectual property. So now you have to find out that where this list has been given, where the illustrations have been given, that what activities could come under the intellectual property domain. So you will find this thing. There is a definitional conundrum. There is no concrete definition of intellectual property law, but there is an enlisting you will find in WIPO Convention under Article 2, Clause 7. I have already mentioned WIPO convention. 1967 established WIPO, as well as it has provided a kind of list where some activities were cited as in an inclusive form, not exclusive form. There may be others which could be included further. So when we go by definition, this is the definition which has been not a definition but an enlisting. As I said, that if you compare it with the definition of UDHR, which has defined what kind of human rights could be in that domain. So they have just cited, or you can say exemplified, that these are the civil and political rights, and other are economic, social, and cultural rights. So this is a kind of enlisting, but not a definition. But it gives you a sense that what kind of activity could be covered. So as you see here, you will find that literary, artistic, and scientific works could be covered under IP. Performances of performing artists, phonograms, and broadcasts. Likewise, inventions in all fields of human endeavor, scientific discoveries, industrial designs, trademarks, service marks, and commercial names and designations, protection against unfair competition, and all other rights resulting from. Last line you must understand, it is very inclusive, and all other rights resulting from intellectual activity in the industrial, scientific, literary, or artistic. So this is the enumeration which could be seen that what is covered under intellectual property. So this very listing was done in 1967. So all these activities may fall in one domain of IP or another domain of IP. I mean, in one form of IP or another form of IP. Like literary, artistic, and scientific works, they may fall under the copyright domain. Inventions in all field of human endeavor may fall under the patents. Scientific discoveries, because discoveries are not patentable as such, inventions are patentable. They may be published in the form of a paper, and when they are published in the form of a paper, those findings, they could be copyrighted, because it is a that kind of form of expression which provides that very information. Likewise, industrial designs may be covered under industrial design, and trademark, service marks likewise. I mean, you can go through it and you'll find that. Protection against unfair competition. This is a kind of activity which is all pervasive in all the intellectual property rights. We look at this very angle also. So it is not a kind of distinct intellectual property, but there is a flair of that which is being imbibed in various kind of intellectual property rights. So, for example, there are other intellectual property rights like trade secrets and GIs, which were not mentioned distinctively here because it was the case of 1967. So, because it is not saying that it is an exclusive list, so itself it demonstrates that the space is pretty open for including other intellectual property rights too. Is that okay?
Sir,
Uh,
Yes, sir.
so in
कोई-
case of
Hmm.
trade secrets,
Hmm.
so the company like the Coca-Cola has a trade secret. So will it
Tem-
disclose that secret to the intellectual property like the authority?
हम्म, उस पे मैं आ रहा हूँ, उस पे अभी हमारा डिस्कशन चलेगा। वो इंटीमेट करते हैं कि ये हमारा पूरी इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं देते हैं, वो बताते हैं ये चीज़ें हम प्रोटेक्ट कर रहे हैं। मतलब उसका एक कई सारे क्राइटेरियाज हैं कि दिस वेरी इंफॉर्मेशन हैज़ अ ट्रेड वैल्यू, as well as this very information has been made secret because of various reasonable steps which we have taken, okay, and these are the details which we wish to keep secret. तो ये सारी इंफॉर्मेशन उनको देते हैं, लेकिन ऐसा पूरा कंटेंट फ्लो नहीं करते हैं। समझ में आया कि नहीं? वो जब कोई वायलेशन होता है तो उसमें देखा जाता है कि वेदर those reasonable steps which are ought to be taken or expected to be taken to make that very thing secret has been taken or not, and whether that very information which is in question has that very trade value or not. Everything would be decided in those cases. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं? That is why there is no legal formality as such which is being provided, which is to be complied with. इसलिए बड़ी जो आपको कंप्लाई करनी है उसको करके तुरंत आप उसको प्रोटेक्ट कर सकते हो। तो इसीलिए जब हम पेटेंट्स के लिए जाते हैं हमारे पास दो ऑप्शंस होते हैं कि आइदर वी शुड सेलेक्ट अ पेटेंट और वी शुड गो बाय द ट्रेड सीक्रेट। सो ट्रेड सीक्रेट इज कंसीडर्ड एज अ मोर वायबल अप्रोच टू प्रोटेक्ट अ पर्टिकुलर इंफॉर्मेशन। ठीक है, क्योंकि ये ऑटोमेटिकली प्रोटेक्ट हो जाता है। समझ में आ रहा है? फिर हम
Yes, sir. So, sir, there is no time limit for the trade secret thing, as
नहीं
in the
कोई टाइम
easily
लिमिट,
disclosed.
अनलेस एंड अनटिल इट इज डिस्क्लोज्ड इट इज बीइंग प्रोटेक्टेड। ठीक है, परपिचुअल है। लेकिन वही है कि आप अगर आपके रीजनेबल एफर्ट्स में कमी आती है तो एक बार डिस्क्लोज हो गया तो फिर उसका कोई रिवर्ट बैक नहीं है। वो एक बहुत बड़ा रिस्क है जिसकी वजह से यू हैव टू डिसाइड वेदर यू विश टू मेक इट सीक्रेट और यू विश टू गो बाय द पेटेंट्स। पेटेंट में क्या फ़ायदा होता है कि आपको डिस्क्लोजर देना होता है और प्रोटेक्शन भी मिल जाता है। तो उस केस में आपको कोई इस तरह का थ्रेट नहीं होता है कि हाँ भाई ये डिस्क्लोज हो गया, ये हो, है कि नहीं। और दूसरे केस में यू आर वल्नरेबल फॉर द डिस्क्लोजर्स अनलेस एंड अनटिल यू आर प्रोटेक्टिंग इट प्रॉपर्ली। गॉट इट? समझ में आ रहा है ना?
So, sir, in case sir, somebody leaks the secret from the company, so there is no protection in that case, sir.
हु इज समबडी?
Like
तो
the
उसको
some employee who
Employee.
is working inside the company,
यस,
sir.
तो इसका सबसे बड़ा रिस्क ये है कि यू डू हैव रिकोर्सेज, आपके पास बहुत सारे आई मीन रेमेडीज हैं, लेकिन सिवाय एक चीज के कि यू कैन नॉट रिवर्ट दैट वेरी इंफॉर्मेशन बैक। ठीक है, एक बार गया तो गया। अब उसके लिए जैसे मैंने बताया कि जो वायलेटर हैं डिपेंडिंग अपॉन द एक्टिविटी यू कैन मेक योर केस लाइक आप क्या कर सकते हो कि इफ दैट इज any person who is bound by an agreement non disclosure clause and he violate that very I mean clause, तो आप किस चीज़ के लिए सूट ला सकते हो? ब्रीच ऑफ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट के लिए ला सकते हो। फिर उसमें जो भी आपका स्टिपुलेटेड कॉम्पनसेशन होगा जो भी होगा उससे वो बाइंड होगा। दूसरे केस में अगर वो एक्सट्रैक्ट किया जाता है किसी अपरेटस से तो वो एक एक्ट ऑफ थेफ्ट हो जाएगा और उस केस में you do have various provisions of IPC as well as contract which may be applicable. Sorry, contract. IPC as well as information and technology law which could be applied in the given case. तो ये रिकोर्स है। ओके, समझ में आ रहा है ना? वो जब आएगा तो मैं थोड़ा और एलेबोरेट करूंगा उसको। ठीक है, तो अभी चलते हैं, इसको आगे बढ़ाते हैं। इज दैट ओके? तो this is the one of the list, and the next list you will find in the TRIPS agreement as I have reiterated time and again. So how TRIPS define it? So for the purposes of the TRIPS agreement, intellectual property referred to what it refers to? All categories of intellectual property that are the subject of section 1 through 7 of part 2 of the agreement which includes specifically, अब यहाँ पे आप देख रहे हो कि एक्टिविटी वाइज नहीं दिया हुआ है। इज दैट ओके? समझ में आ रहा नहीं?
Yes, sir.
यहाँ पे आपको distinctively defined intellectual property rights are being categorized rather than activities. So what are those? Again, here this is not an exclusive list. It is a list which is pretty open to include various other subject matters. But 7 intellectual property rights, as you see, are categorically defined, not defined but enumerated. So that you must bear in mind, so that if any discussion comes and any question is being asked to you that how many intellectual property rights are there, by and large at the international level, global level, then you must respond to that. 4 you already know that conventional ones like patent, copyright, trademark and industrial design. The 3 you have to add upon, and those 3 were geographical indication, integrated circuit layout design and protection of undisclosed information, which is also termed as trade secrets. So first one is copyright and related right. Related right I have explained. Whether I have explained it or not, I mean related
No,
right.
sir, no, sir. No,
Okay.
sir.
So copyright you already know. Copyright is being given to what kind of subject matter? form of expression. Okay, any kind of form of
Yes, sir.
expression which may be of literary expression, or which may be of a nature of in the nature of artistic expression or musical expression. Every expression could be considered under copyright. So copyright, there in copyright there is one element which is very important, one ingredient, or you can say requirement, which is very important, that is originality. So originality means, what do you mean by that term, or what do you derive from that very meaning, original? जब हम कहते हैं कोई चीज ओरिजिनल है तो क्या मतलब है उसका? एनीथिंग बताते रहा करो बीच बीच में. What is original? What do you mean by this term? Like, this is original work. What do you mean by that?
So something that has not been done before.
That is very novel thing. There is a novelty and originality, two different connotations. अब बताओ आगे.
So something that is done by the very person who's claiming it.
और अगर हम इसको और easily समझना चाहें तो a thing is original which is not copied or which is not imitated version, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes.
तो कॉपीराइट का जो मेन एसेंशियल कंपोनेंट है वो है ओरिजिनलिटी, दैट इट मस्ट ओरिजिनेट फ्रॉम द ऑथर. एंड हु इज द ऑथर? हु इज क्रिएटिंग दैट वेरी थिंग, दैट इज ऑथर. तो जो ट्रेडिशनल कॉपीराइट की डिफिनीशन है उसमें सारे ही जो क्रिएट करते हैं किसी भी फॉर्म में एक्सप्रेशन को, दे आर कवर्ड अंडर द कॉपीराइट connotation. But there are other people also, other role players also, who don't rigidly falls in that very domain of authors under copyright. But they are equally important to give that very expression a more substantial meaning. समझ आ रहा है? उस वर्क को उन्होंने क्रिएट
Yes,
तो नहीं
sir.
किया, लेकिन उस वर्क को क्या कर रहे हैं, वो इफेक्चुएट कर रहे हैं थ्रू देयर ओन एफर्ट्स. तो आपका कॉपीराइट तो उसमें प्रमोट ही हो रहा है एक तरह से. तो बिकॉज ऑफ दैट दोज पीपल एंड देयर राइट्स आर आल्सो बीइंग कवर्ड अंडर कॉपीराइट regime, so that they could also be incentivized. And what could be the example of those people? They may be broadcasters, performers, and other people. अब ब्रॉडकास्टर क्या कहता है, उसको बनाता तो कोई और है सीरियल को, but they need some platform where it could be properly disseminated. So right to distribution, right to dissemination, this is also a kind of copyright, which, or right to circulation. So this right is always available to copyright holder, but these players like performers, like broadcasters, they extend that very thing, they promote that very thing. That is why, so if a serial is being created and just kept in the computer or any other storage, whether that could derive its economic value? What do you think?
No, sir.
No. So you need some medium, you need someone to promote that. तो इसलिए हमने क्या किया, उन लोगों को भी कवर किया कॉपीराइट डोमेन्स में जो उस चीज को क्रिएट तो नहीं करते बट इफेक्चुएट करते हैं. ठीक है? तो ब्रॉडकास्टर्स राइट,
Yes,
परफॉर्मर
sir.
राइट्स, these rights are also being included under the domain of copyright. Got it? I hope I made it clear.
Yes, sir.
So copyright and related rights are there, then trademarks are there, then geographical indications are there, then industrial designs are there, patents, integrated circuit layout designs. Have you heard about IC, integrated circuit? सुने तो होगे
No,
तुम
sir.
लोग, नहीं सुने? Anyone who has a science background or something? कोई है इसमें?
Yes, sir.
हाँ बताओ क्या होता है IC and why it is important?
सर्किट डिजाइन्स और वगैरह जो होती है अलग से खुद बनाते हैं अपना
तो उनकी डिजाइन की वजह से क्या, उनकी डिजाइन से क्या उस पे इम्पैक्ट पड़ता है उसकी
डिजाइन
वैल्यू
होती
पे?
है.
नहीं, आई एम जस्ट आस्किंग यू whether the
Okay.
way it is designed, the way it is designed, whether that makes an impact on its value. Are you
Maybe
getting my point or no?
I think so. Design is a important factor to judge the any product,
No, I
and
got your point,
design
but
is also attract the customer.
No, that is different thing. That is industrial design. I am just concerned here about the layout designs of the integrated circuit. That is IC. Okay.
So circuit design is everything to an IC. It is how capacitors, transformers are placed in
Yes.
the circuit, the chip, and that defines the working of the product. The
Yeah.
circuitry. It is the
Okay.
circuitry that is laid out on it through a machine.
Okay. So fair enough. So it means to say that the way you design the layout of a integrated circuit, it makes an impact on its functionality as well as how it, puts that very thing. So in that way, the design element of that very thing, that is integrated circuit, also becomes very important. So it is to be protected through intellectual property. तुमको याद होगा पहले इन इनिशियल डेज देयर वाज रेडियो, काफ़ी बड़ा सा रेडियो होता था, उसमें क्या यूज़ होता था? पहले आईसी तो थी नहीं, तो क्या यूज़ होता था? डायोड या ट्रायोड यूज़ होता था। फिर हम ट्रांजिस्टर पे आए। ओके, so we have just minimized it, and after transistor we have reduced it in the forms of IC, a very small segment. उसके बाद microchips and many other things are coming. So it means to say that it has made the things very very easy to expedite that very function and to reduce the space which it usually takes. So because the design element of that very circuit, integrated circuit, is appreciated, that is why the way you design is being protected under intellectual property. Got it? अब हम आ जाते हैं
Yes, sir.
अब जो है अनडिस्क्लोज्ड इंफॉर्मेशन को मैंने बता ही दिया कि इट इज पैरेलल टू ट्रेड सीक्रेट्स, and it is being defined in this way. No model as such, any model has been provided, so that is why countries are varying in their approach. Some countries have concrete law regarding that very, distinct law regarding that very undisclosed information. Some countries have multiple approaches, as I told you that in India there is no specific law for trade secrets, but they are not unprotected. They are protected and enforced through different kind of laws depending on different kind of activities. ओके, जैसे मैंने बताया आपको कि अगर आप एम्प्लॉयर एम्प्लॉय के एग्रीमेंट में हैं तो अगर उसका वायलेशन होता है तो यू मे टेक द कोर्स ऑफ द लॉ ऑफ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट, एंड इफ it is altogether an act which could be considered as a criminal act, then the laws, criminal laws will be applicable. What is related to IT laws will be applicable. So it depends on that situation in which you are. So depending upon that, the recourse could be taken. But to promote this very intellectual property, many countries have a very specific law so that this could be taken care of in a very distinct मैनर. तो जैसे यूएस ने यूएस ट्रेड सीक्रेट्स एक्ट उनके पास है, तो वो इस चीज़ को प्रायोरिटाइज किए हैं, एंड दे आर पुशिंग इट दैट इट मस्ट बी डिस्क्लोज्ड एट एनी, इट मस्ट बी प्रोटेक्टेड एट एनी कॉस्ट. तो वो चीज़ भी है. So it depends upon how your policies are aligned to the promotion of intellectual property. ठीक है. अब हमारे यहाँ सबसे बड़ी समस्या क्या है इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी में? कई तरह की समस्याएं हैं. तो देयर आर सो मेनी प्रॉब्लम्स. वन इज first of all identification problem. You possess certain intellectual property but you don't realize that you have intellectual property. तो क्या होगा? वो धीरे धीरे ट्रांसमिट हो जाएगा किसी और को जो आपको वॉच कर रहा है कायदे से, लेकिन आप उसको वैल्यू नहीं कर रहे हो. नंबर वन. Number two would be that if you have a very efficient employee who have all these very credentials of intellectual property, but you are not able to use him because you don't realize that very thing, तो उस केस में भी अंडर वैल्यूड हो जाता है. तीसरी चीज जो सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट चैलेंज है इंडिया में वो है इन्फोर्समेंट ऑफ आईपी. आर यू गेटिंग इट? Enforcement of IP is the biggest challenge. Why? Because we are relying for the enforcement on the same machineries which are also taking care of law and order problem and many other problems. So those problems which are already there, they dilute the importance of intellectual property enforcement at large. अब आप लेके जाओगे कंप्लेन कि भाई मेरा ये ट्रेड सीक्रेट वायलेट, ट्रेड मार्क वायलेट हो गया है, ऐसे हो रहा है वैसे हो रहा है. पुलिस में say कि we are overburdened with this very thing already, so let us finish this very thing, then we will look into it. तो एक समस्या है, ये बहुत तगड़ी समस्या है, इसको दूर किया जा रहा है. And at the border also, I mean international border, when any person is entering in the border of India into India, then there is a chance that some smuggled goods, some goods which are not fairly, I mean, consumed through trademark laws could also be entered. तो कस्टम ऑफिशियल्स को ट्रेन करने के लिए देयर आर वेरियस प्रोग्राम्स व्हिच आर बीइंग गोइंग ऑन, सो दे आर बीइंग प्रॉपर्ली ट्रेन्ड फॉर द इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी itself. And police is also being trained. I mean, I was also a part of one training program which was meant for ACPs of Delhi police. So I conducted that, and I must share with you that how ignorant and how, I mean, you can say unaware they are about certain aspects of IP. थोड़ी सा मैं इसको elaborate कर देता हूँ, then you will finish it. So what happened that there was you all must be knowing the famous brand Puma, जो फुटवेयर वगैरह बनाता है.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Puma.
है ना. हाँ, तो उसका जो है वो CEO, उसका कोई एक अथॉरिटी उसकी आई हुई थी, वो भी एक प्रेजेंटेशन दे रहा था. तो ही brought 2 shoes of Puma, and he demonstrated that how closely they are resembling. आप इसमें फ़र्क नहीं कर सकते हो कि ये पूमा का है और ये दूसरा वर्जन है. ठीक है. तो अगर आप दिल्ली में चले जाओ, कौन सा मार्केट है वो जो काफ़ी इस तरह की चीज़ें जहाँ पे ज़्यादा बिकती हैं, विद
पालिका.
हाँ, पालिका बाजार है, और ऊपर भी कौन सा उसको बोलते हैं, मैं भूल रहा हूँ, दिल्ली म्यूनिसिपल उसके पास में है. एक तो पालिका वो अंडरग्राउंड मार्केट हो गई, एक ऊपर कौन सी है, जनपद. Is it so?
Yes, sir, Janpat.
Yeah. So you will find every brand. Is it so? कुछ भी आप चाहो तो वो उसका जो एक वर्जन आपको मिल जाएगा वहाँ पे, है कि नहीं. तो these brands were very much in the market, and nothing is being done, nothing has been, I mean, no action has been taken. तो उसने बताया कि वो शू जो है उसके शू से एकदम रिजेंबल कर रहा है, एंड दे आर बीइंग सोल्ड इन द मार्केट इन दैट वे. तो एक वहाँ पे ACP थे, उन्होंने रिस्पॉन्ड किया कि इफ द सेम थिंग इज बीइंग और कुड बी प्रोक्योर्ड थ्रू अ वेरी लेस प्राइस, देन व्हाट इज हार्म इन डूइंग दैट. अब आप समझ लो कि हाउ अटेंटिव दे आर, है कि नहीं है. तो ये हम बहुत शॉर्ट साइटेड विजन से जब इसको देखते हैं तो लगता है कि इट्स नथिंग, इफ एनीबडी कैन अफोर्ड इट देन इट्स प्रीटी ओके टू find it out in the market, and it is also okay that those people must procure that at the very less price, because we are so much brand obsessed. तो कई सारे लोगों को ऐसा लगता भी है कि यार भाई इस ब्रांड का होगा तो काफ़ी ठीक है. So the thing is that if you are producing the similar thing, if not for different brand, why you are just using that very brand only. तो ये क्वेश्चन आता है. So this is a disregard to that very brand, and what happens if these things are floating in the market, then there are repercussions of that. क्या repercussion उसका होगा? पहला repercussion ये होगा कि the players of these brands who are procuring or who are making these very things happen in the market, they are not contributing in the tax paying to the government. तो ये न तो आपको फायदा हो रहा है, न तो गवर्नमेंट को फायदा हो रहा है, वो बीच का फायदा हो रहा है जो उसको प्रोक्योर कर रहा है. ठीक है. तो उसके और दूसरी चीज़ क्या है कि इंडस्ट्रीज विच आर इन प्रोड्यूसिंग क्वालिटी गुड्स, दे मे बी रिलक्टेंट टू एंटर इन योर मार्केट इफ दैट वेरी वायलेशन इज flagrant. So because of these reasons, the respect for IP is not that much on when it comes to these markets. ठीक है. तो एक मैं सिंपल सा आपको एग्जांपल दे रहा हूँ so that you can understand that whether the value of IP is being properly realized in India or not. तो ये कुछ ऐसे प्रॉब्लम्स हैं. इन्फोर्समेंट की प्रॉब्लम मैंने आपको बताई कि कोर्ट्स आर आल्सो ओवरबर्डन्ड बाय वेरियस अदर स्टफ्स. तो अभी कोई एक बात चल रही है कॉमर्शियल कोर्ट की. हैव यू हर्ड अबाउट दैट? कॉमर्शियल कोर्ट्स, हाई कोर्ट एंड अदर forums? सुना है?
नहीं सर, सुना होगा तो ध्यान नहीं होता।
हाँ, तो अभी
No, sir.
अभी इन्होंने कोशिश की है, वो जो हमारी नेशनल IPR पॉलिसी बनी थी उसमें भी कुछ बात थी उसकी, तो आई वाज अ पार्ट ऑफ दैट डिस्कोर्स। तो उसमें ये चल रहा था कि वी मस्ट क्रिएट सम कॉमर्शियल कोर्स टू एक्सपेडाइट दीज काइंड ऑफ मैटर्स। लाइक दिल्ली हाई कोर्ट इज वेरी वाइबल इन IP केसेस। जब आप पढ़ते हो ज़्यादातर केसेस आपको दिल्ली हाई कोर्ट से ही डिसाइडेड मिलते हैं एज रिगार्ड्स टू IP। तो इवन देन इनजस्टिस किसके साथ होता है? इनजस्टिस ओरिजिनल नॉन कमर्शियल केसेस के साथ हो जाता है। कि समटाइम्स व्हेन यू प्रायोरिटाइज दीज केसेस, if the great stakes are there, then those cases are left in the corner. तो इस चीज को दूर करने के लिए this has been proposed that a different court for commercial cases must be constituted which may look into these matters. So this thing is moving on, and I hope that if you follow that, you can search over that. I mean, on the net, you will find that some significant progress have been made regarding that very thing, commercial courts. So if that would be possible, then the whole thing could be decided in a very different manner. So this thing you must bear in mind. I am just giving you a kind of sense so that you will perceive around you that how IP is happening around you. ये भी जरूरी है कि नहीं है कि केवल पढ़ लेने से हो जाएगा? What do you think?
Yes, sir.
है ना? तो ये चीज आप देखते रहिए। और लास्टली जो है सारे 7 डिस्टिंक्ट इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी राइट्स। इन एडिशन टू दैट there is another window which is being created by TRIPS agreement under Article 27.3b, where it says clearly that one item, that is whatever is there, IP created through sui generis system under Article 27.3b. Like one example I have put in the bracket, PPVFR, Protection of Plant Variety and Farmers' Rights Act here in India. So that has been modeled on its own, where we provide equal status to farmers as compared to breeders. So under Article 27.3b of the TRIPS agreement, it clearly enunciates that for plant variety, member countries of WTO may either protect it through patent or through a sui generis model, or a combination of both. So we adopted the second part, that we have created a sui generis model. Sui generis means a model of its own. So we evolved that very model by having a special legislation. So what was that special legislation? Protection of Plant Variety and Farmers' Rights Act. So if you compare this very act with other similar acts in various other countries, you will find that it is unique in the sense that in other countries you will find the legislation only accommodates farmers by giving some exemptions. So there you will find farmer exemption, and here you will find farmers' rights. Okay, so more positive assertion has
Yes, sir.
been recognized under this very special legislation. ठीक है? So
Yes,
I
sir.
hope that for today that is all. फिर next day मिलते हैं. Is that okay?
Yes sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.